Hello Total War Gamers, my name is Deacon and welcome to my Total War channel. Now, would you want to play Warhammer 2? That's the question I'll try to help you get answers for yourself as we play through this review campaign of Warhammer 2 with Queek Headtaker and the Skaven. Gonna have lots of battles, loads of fun, and do also check out my other review series of Warhammer 2. There's links in the description. I'm doing a series for all three races. So if indeed this is the kind of content you enjoy, give this video a like, stay subscribed and hit the subscribe button. Now, I've played the Total War series since Shogun 1 in the year 2000, and since then I've easily clocked over 10,000 hours of gameplay in the series as a whole. So you can trust me to point out the things you'd want to consider before playing a game, and which things you might prefer or not prefer in your gaming experience. So I'm sure if you'll stick around, watch this video till the end, you should be able to decide whether you want to play Warhammer 2. And at the end of the video I'm going to ask you whether you feel this game is worth playing or not. Now, do participate in the review of the campaign by interacting through the comments in the comment section down below, or jump into Discord and connect with me. I'm always curious about people, about life in general, but particularly about my viewers, what they like, what they don't like, and how they like their Total War games. So this is an opportunity for us to discuss the game in depth, and rather than just giving you my opinion, I'd rather review every feature as it's being presented through, in the progression of the campaign, instead of doing one single video with an opinionated opinion, so to say. So I'm not going to rate the game, I'm not going to judge it. The judgment is yours, and we'll discuss this game based on its own merits. So this is a Total War game as much as it is a Warhammer game, and we need to factor that in, particularly if you're a Total War veteran. However, you can compare this Warhammer game with the previous Warhammer Total War. So, and even when we compare it with the first edition, you have to keep in mind that both games are meant to eventually merge with each other and have the Mortal Empires campaign, so you can't change everything in terms of gameplay and an engine without blocking that kind of possibility. So that is something you'll have to keep in mind. Now, as you can feel, we have loads to discuss. If you already own the game, if you're playing it, give a shout out below, and then I know that my viewers may be more knowledgeable about this particular campaign than I am, because it's the last of the series I'm starting. I haven't done not the least bit of gameplay with Skaven, and it's as new as it is for you, basically. So let's take a little view here at the abilities, the race attributes. Now, settlements do appear as runes to other races. Food is our main, second currency, of course treasury being the main. And then there's slave and corruption, which hurts our own local public order, also allows us to use more clanrats abilities in any fights in the same region. Now, this is fun. Queek Headtaker steals XP from other lords, so well, as long as they rank up, he also ranks, which is fun, but only really does come into play when you have a larger empire and multiple lords on the campaign map. Now, the Grey Seer recruits, they are -2 in loyalty. He doesn't get along very well with the Grey Seers, and we'll get to see more of that soon. Melee attack is +10 when fighting against dwarves and greenskins, although we are going to go up against the high elves first. There is weapon strength, also greenskin and dwarves. We have reduced upkeep by 50% for storm vermin and clan rats, so those are the units to preferably go for. And then there is for clan Moors and Queek a +2 in number of uses in the menus below. Starting units, it brings the Warp Fire Thrower, it brings rat ogres and storm vermin with halberds, and all three of them are quite hard hitting, or can be, because I did see some gameplay on YouTube naturally. Now, this is the difficulty settings for playing it very hard. The battle's also very hard. So let's crack on and get Queek started.
Deep under the world, they chitter and plan, watching, waiting. it is a nightmare vision. The Skaven, a ravenous horde of verminous ratmen. They gnaw at the roots of the world like an infected wound. They mean to rule over ruins, for such is the will of their god, the great horned rat. Only the island home of the High Elves has remained unscathed. And at its center is the Great Vortex. A swirling maelstrom that siphons chaos from the world. The Skaven covet its vast power with envious, beady red eyes. The twin-tailed comet is oft seen as an omen, but this time its wake has disturbed the winds of magic. In the secret halls of the Under-Empire, the Council of 13 has gathered. A time to scheme of opportunity.
I kill dwarf things in Pillar City. No! Clanmores go to Southlands. Hunt for Warpstone. Moors are puppet minion. Pestilence infest Lastria. Yes. But all Warpstone for council plan. Come, scribe slave. Work to do. Comet makes elf things weak. Council wants power of the Vortex. Just as prophecy demands. So it too. You read markings on the Black Pillar. Then you know we must find the Screaming One. Find out how to control the Vortex. Oh yes, Master. But a large tribute of Warpstone will that demon require if we summon him. Return to your assigned clan. Harvest Warpstone. Yes, most precipitous of masters. And flay yourself, your impertinence. Oh, it will be done, your worship.
So, meeting of the council, and the rats emerge, and Queek has been sent to the Southlands. There's going to be an elven invasion that they have to fight back, but the comet's appearance has probably weakened them.
Squirt musk of fear, vermin, for the Headtaker comes before you. I has mission from council itself. That how important I am. Southlands under attack from elf things. Clanmores sent to kill elf.
Nice settlement there.
Find Warpstone. Warpstone essential. Elf things come from Sea Fortress.
Warpstone resource.
Take that too. Good base for Queek.
May indeed be a good base.
Yes? Fight elf things. Kill elf things. More stuff. More heads. More glory for Queek.
So more Queek, basically. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is set my advice settings to be text only and shut them up. Also put it to minimal, so we're getting pop-ups, but then only text. I have to admit, he sounds very nervous being a rat, and I think that's what mice and rats do. They make people nervous, and I'm not a nervous person. I just have ADHD is what they call it. Has to do with focus, which is also a reason why I tend to keep the music volume kind of low for myself, at least. For the rest, I'll get on to ADHD and gaming later, but for me, having focus on a game actually quiets things down in my head. Anyway, Skaven Underworld, heroes of the enemy can scout out the runes, which is interesting of course if you're playing any other race. You know, you can find Skaven with heroes, lords and so on. Then there's the food economy. I think you may compare that perhaps to the peasant economy in Britannia. However, each army in this case consumes a certain amount of food, which actually is the most sensible mechanic I've seen so far. Even more so than the mechanic of needing food for buildings in Attila. But I was saying we're going to compare this game to Warhammer 1. So you can gain food from battles, okay, maybe looting the enemy camp, sacking settlements also makes sense, and from certain buildings. So this is also very sensible. Skaven corruption, if you consider these guys are rats and they used to spread the plague, the pest in Europe. So all this is quite accurate, quite historical, if it weren't that this game is totally unhistorical and fantasy. Anyway, the Menace Below, powerful ability that we can use more often compared to Clan Pestilence, for example. Now more about Skaven here. Underworld cities, we can stalk and ambush. So if we attack normally, there is always a chance that we get an ambush battle. The Skaven spread corruption as they settle, so not necessarily by just walking around. But eventually it's going to be uninhabitable even for us. Armies consume food, we just mentioned. Spend money to construct rights and bonuses. Recruit heroes. Cause earthquakes or spread plagues. And then of course there's Menace Below, which means additional units. Loyalty is both affecting Dark Elves and Skaven. And once Lord's loyalty reaches 0, they will rebel. So that is of course important information and interesting as well, which is shown on the character info panel of each Lord and on the character details. Now, we're being issued missions. We need to construct a lair, and once we do that, we're going to be rewarded with 500 treasury. Cool. And here's our first warp stone that we need to drive our Vortex campaign win conditions. We're going to occupy the Fortress of Dawn faction's settlements, or at least one of them. And then there's also 1,000 treasuries. So for quick, it's a quick 1,500 bucks, and there's only 2 starting missions. Now here's that little faction that they just mentioned. So we're gonna beat this army here, which 11 units against our 9, but we have red ogres, and the warp fight thrower can easily roast entire units at once. Now the lair, can we upgrade it right now? Excuse me. There we go, lair. So this is the way to go, and we'll have another fight probably on the next turn. There's nothing more to build. We need to upgrade our settlement first, and recruitment, I guess it has to be done within our territory. Maybe not, we'll find out. Then rights, the Scheme of Doom, you can close now, has a cooldown. These 3 all have cooldowns of 30. The last one has a cooldown of 20. They all need to be unlocked. So the Scheme of Doom is unlocked after researching 3 technologies, and from then on you can just execute it for 800 gold every 30 turns. Same for the Scheme Priest. However, you need to construct a Pestilent Knave building to be able to recruit this hero character. This is also, by the way, a hero. So this is how we get our heroes basically, and then this is an effect on the campaign. It improves diplomatic relations with Skaven for 13 turns with plus 13 per turn. So say we were going to try and confederate with some particular faction, then performing this right and planning for it with other actions like attacking the enemy of the supposed target for Confederation. All the kinds of things that you can do, maybe even bribe them, just give them tribute money or whatsoever. Then this is an interesting right, but you'll probably have to combine with other stuff, maybe research. We'll see soon. This generates food, provides growth, and is unlocked when you do a commandment over a province called Expansionist Planning. It's also the most expensive of the series, but basically you can buy improvements for your settlement every once in 25 turns. And then it'll 5 out of those 25 the bonus will be applied. So basically 20% of the time. Skaven corruption is untainted, tainted, so you can see the level of corruption in any area. If it's blue, it's low. If it's green, it's high. So even in our own area, it's light bluish. So there's still much more to corrupt, basically. And menu options, sound. I'm gonna tune down the music just a little bit. And if you think it's too low, just put it in the comments. And I'm also gonna listen to the result myself. And we can change the type of corruption here from Skaven to Chaos to Vampiric. If we want to have character names shown, then we tick this. Let's do that. And basically here's another thing you can tweak, which is the overlays go away once we zoom in, but here this is nice. If you want to be notified when there's a building upgrade available, for example, then tick this. Now I don't care about that one. The rest that I've ticked, I'd like to see. So the warp stone that you get through missions and special buildings and sites and so on, perhaps also victories, we'll see, is depicted here. The amount we have. Here's our food. We have 3 and a minus of 2, so we get a +1 per turn. And here is our income, which is background income, which is probably faction, regular treasury that you get every turn, and then taxes is extra revenue. So mostly it's just the King's Purse that is now supporting our entire army. Now, technologies are unlocked by buildings. You could go for ferocious plans or devious plans. Devious, I'm thinking campaign stuff, but not that much really. This is hit and run. Speed for infantry units. I think that's awesome. +10 speed. Really truly awesome. Then driven by hunger, experience, income. This is casualty replenish rate. Skaven slaves units, melee attack. The buffs. They are some of them are battle related, others are campaign game related, and I can't really make sense out of what it really ties into. This says ferocious, this says devious, but still, maybe this is like more the hit and run kind of gameplay, ambush style and so on, and this the search and destroy kind of approach to both the battles and the campaign game, I guess. This ultimately goes into growth, and this goes into weapon strength, armor and missile damage. This too. I guess they give buffs both on campaign and on battles, but this goes more towards improvements of your battles, and this tends more in direction of easing your campaign game. So I would probably go for this line and make the most of my battles. It's basically going to give easier wins, I guess. I don't know. Then, so we've got a research reviewed, rights reviewed, Skaven corruption reviewed, the warp zone economy, food, and everything else. So let's just jump into this battle and hopefully destroy this lady Vanya over there. We have the menace below, which is we've got multiple uses of it, like 4 times, and then if we want more than 4 summons, basically we can spend food to do so, but I think 4 spawns should be enough. We succeeded in triggering an ambush battle, so should be quite easy to actually reduce all the missile units and then mop up the infantry. So, here we go. Now, one of the things, as we're reviewing this game by playing its campaign, I'd like your opinion about whether or not this game is actually an improvement in Warhammer 2 over Warhammer 1. Because much of it stayed the same, like also lots of interface things are still the same. There are, however, many smaller changes slash improvements, if you like. So things kind of they make the UI more customizable. But yeah, I've already come across a number of little things that I think would have been easy to add to the game that would make it a lot more user friendly. For example, a cookie kind of mechanic that remembers your preferred stance on a unit. And I've noticed, I think in Medieval 2, some units might come to the field with fire arrows. However, if you tick them off, they're gonna be ticked off still when the same unit joins the next battle. And my Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, for example, if I would set it to multi-shot, I'd prefer that thing to still have the multi-shot ability selected when it turns into the next battle. Now, this is something that used to be in an older game. If you're new to the Total War series and more of a Warhammer gamer, then this might be a totally neutral thing to you. But having seen that mechanic in the past, I just think it's a waste really to see that go, and I would have liked or maybe loved to have more of those things that they were not. How do you say, they were not so much campaign game related. I think on campaign level is probably where the differences show the most, and but also these kinds of changes, or yeah, in terms of battles and customizability, are changes that are all worth considering. Now, okay, let's rush in with all these units here, and now our and we're gonna go with Queek towards their general. The red ogres now come out of hiding, and they're gonna scare the crap out of these high elven archers here. At least that's what I hope. Now, menace below, I'm gonna put that right there and pin these pairs so they're not gonna actually hurt my red ogres, because I'm suspecting they will have a bonus versus large. Queek still waiting for his ability to. Let's bring in our So we've basically surrounded them all. And archers are getting hurt in the back. Now they are not liking us very much right now. So we're gonna mostly surround them and make use of that mechanic. We're gonna do more of that. For the rest, I think we're already done. Archers in the center that aren't really quick. Can you scare off the rest? Warfire thrower. I'd like to have some more XP. Now we have so many units here. It's just hard to command them. And remember, these are disposable units, really. So that's the name of the game. Everything is disposable. Let's go for the Lothian Sea Guard here. They're now routed. Okay, send some swords in, and some more swords. And now there's actually some units routing. Oh, they're actually spam and they're still surviving there. Those guys are all shattered, so let's move this way. We're gonna... Hey, these guys are really stubborn. Let's put some clan rats on them. So while they do rout quite quickly while being surrounded here, they do also come back. They're just tired, wavering. Warfire thrower, how about you fire on these then? Rat ogres in the mix still. Queek, kill some Lothian Sea Guard. Okay, Warfire thrower, kill the spammen. Clan rats over there. Time to kill. Eat them. No, we're not going to eat them, guys. We're gonna go for the Warpstone first. And battle. And I must say, it does play different than... for example, the High Elves, or the Empire, or the Bretonnians. It's, but however, this was an ambush battle. Units replenished. This gains us food and treasury. Now I'm gonna go all out on food. Hey. Let's rank up and get Root Marcher and get them killed. Slay. Auto resolve and get more food. Yay! You can kill them another time. Move. I was saying these guys make me nervous. That's what I said in an earlier moment. Now, about this is for campaign. This improves battle stats. This improves your lord, and this is like lord abilities, missions, quests. Sometimes these things are the Lord's army. These are very specific picks if you want to buff a certain kind of lord or hero or unit type. However, I generally go for this line first. So for example, if we have a lot of clan rats, and we get reduced upkeep, and we do with at least with Queek we get like clan rats. So buffing the clan rats with more melee attack makes sense. And this is for storm vermin that we also get reduced upkeep for. So getting these and those is just too good to pass down, really. So we'll pick those, and they're also kind of cheap. So I want to gain more XP, kill them off because they're basically caught in the corner here, and then go and move on to Dawn's Light, which of course has a garrison, but a very small one. So we don't have any heroes,
More head skulls.
but they'll come. Let's hit the end turn. And now they're marching. Is this forced march? It doesn't matter. If they're in forced march stance, and they are, then they're gonna be tired once we get there. We've encountered 2 new tribes, but we can't reach them in a single turn, so instead of moving this way, might as well move that way. Regardless,
Misguided.
they of course are going to
Futile.
are they going to recruit? They're going to have to switch stances first. So it would be that they are going to take quite the number of turns for full replenishment. But we've also... I shouldn't have auto-resolved that last battle. Even though they were very much reduced. If you've noticed how we came back from the first battle, we hardly lost any units. And now we lost like half our clan res here, and didn't of course replenish because we were exactly in the enemy's territory. So I didn't really do that very smart.
Move your tails.
But anyway, we have got money, so I'm just gonna go for Skaven slaves or meat shield. These guys have exceptionally low, poor. I'm not gonna. They have. They're an upkeep of 21, but they're just. They're so prone to run away that I'm not gonna be able to count on them at all. So we'll take along 3 of those, and sit here for a turn, then turn our attention to Dawn's Light, or might have actually put them in here and done my recruitment there. Kinda. And they've also taken Scraghole, which was previously only a rune.
Warlord Queek Headtaker.
So Warlord Queek Headtaker is in quite the fix. Now, diplomacy-wise, let's see if there's anything that we can do. Clan Mortkin. That's yeah, Zlatan. Hello. Oh, this is Pizza the Hut. Let's see. The Man-Blight tribe. They want non-aggression. Okay. Clan Mulder.
Come, I know demons that can grant you the greatest estimate.
Well, either you're going to confederate with me, or I'm just going to take that thing from you. And them too. Anyway, this is future plans. Well, rather, if you've seen Clan Pestilence, has of course, they're obviously the ones that are going to benefit the most of the bottom line, and I think this is going to benefit our faction leaders build the most. Alright, let's hit the end turn once more, complete a mission with construction. So you're moving out your half army in forced march. So basically they're just handing Dawn's Light over to us like a freebie. And yes, and maybe I'll have to... Can I... animation speed fast? Heroes also fast. Lords. Cinematic, strategic. Let's go for strategic. Oh, is this just for the Skaggy? No. Oh, it is. Can't I like copy, apply everywhere, or lock settings? No. if I lock any settings applied to a group of factions will be overridden. So how do I select a group of factions? Oh my god. Group of factions. Your faction. Fast. Hero is also fast. Individual factions. No, I want the group factions. Oh, the allied factions. Let's do it another time. Really, it's customizable, but it's gonna take an awful lot of time to tweak the entrance settings for every single faction, and if that's gonna remain like that, I probably would have preferred the old style of either on or off. Anyway, just sit in there and do some more recruitment. Yes. Now we need the clan armory. So how are we doing on one more turn? Get clan armory going and get some research going. Now I've posed this question if you think this game is an improvement over the former game. Mission successful, and what I'd like you to do in any case when we should actually discuss such a matter, just head over to the comments section and post your opinion there. Hidden lair, clan pit. So are we gonna have to go into a tier 2 building? What the heck? Clan armory. I must have just overlooked that. Pit, barracks, armory. Okay. So we're not doing research until our main settlement has reached tier 3. Holy shit. That's quite quite a restriction, really. Well, this gives us extra growth, so let's do that right away, because I want to get my research going. Sheesh. Clan Moors. Now this Skaven slave Spears, also with poor leadership. The heck, I don't want poor leadership. More rats. And you can still... We're okay on food, and we're still in the positive income wise. Now we have a population surplus. La expansion. Hello, Queek. So as I said, we're gonna buff the clan rats. Now, one more unit to train and one more unit to train. Then we're at 20, and we're gonna pay Dawn's Light a visit. Hopefully, deal with the rest of the High Elves all at once as we go. Unless they've somehow reached another way of outnumbering us and outplaying us, but we have to see. Gameplay is for the campaign very hard, as is for battles. Oh, there was an army over there that we kind of missed a moment ago. Now the thing that I consider to be most important for review is the gameplay. So of course there is a lot of elements that add to the atmosphere, the immersiveness, the graphics, the maybe stuff like voice acting and the graphics or cinematics. Now if you have opinions about those things, do let me know. and just put it out there in the comment section. So remember though that in any case, whether it's about gameplay or about actual other topics such as maybe the lore or the cinematics, an opinion is never right or wrong. It's just an opinion, and in this case yours. So same goes for other people's opinions. There's no right or wrong. Just be respectful of everyone else's opinion, and we should get along really. And I don't mind hot discussions in threads online. Sign non-aggression with Zlatlan. Because discussing stuff is what the comment section is for. I think it's all good. Yeah, we've completed another mission. Mission successful. Warpstone. Yay. As I was saying. Ooh. Come. There we go. Let's go and take them. We are ambushing a settlement. There's no walls. These guys are still half replenished, so they really do replenish slow, which is I think interesting. How are we doing on food? We have like 74. So food cost for another use is 3. Now let's take on 1 extra menace below ability into this fight. Well, we've just beaten them while we were in the disadvantage, so we should be okay really. So let's rank up Queek. There, go. I do miss a hero or an agent kind of unit at the starting situation of the faction though. And I do feel that the Skaven play kinda different from the majority of the factions in Warhammer thus far. And it also changes basically the learning curve of the game. And if you're an owner of this game and you're playing it, what do you think about the learning curve? Is it too steep? Is it too easy? It also of course it does depend a little bit on difficulty setting. So if you're new to the series and you're gonna play the first campaign at very hard or legendary, of course learning curve will be steep. I'm not suggesting that you should. I've put this on very hard because I have my own previous experiences with the series and always enjoyed myself with it. Never found it to be too hard. The only reason why I don't play legendary is because I'm a gaming dad and I just need to be able to pause my game every once in a while. Because 3 children, so if you're married, children and so on, give a shout out and share your sympathies because I certainly do share them with you. I just like to hear no. Now deployment, let's put a bunch over here and another bunch over there. Split our forces for a bit, put some storm vermin in the center with Queek at the front, and I like we're gonna move these guys into the backs of either flank. If we can get them to split up, we're providing ample opportunities for our warp thrower to go in and either fire right or fire left wherever he's most needed. And the red ogres also alongside Headtaker here in the center. So there we go. Now they've deployed over at one side, so I'm gonna try and pull them away, move in my clan rats that section, do the same here. Queek, you're non-invincible. Our clan red ogres have suffered a little bit in the previous fight. Now I didn't see any special units that made me shiver. And they're like pretty even. There's some cavalry here. It can be very annoying. Illyrian Reavers shock cavalry. We don't have a real counter save for perhaps the warfire thrower. But, and of course the halberds that I'm using to protect my warfire thrower with. Clan rats over here. Then Queek, is kind of fast compared to the halberds. So the halberds don't have to move much, nor should they, because they're slow. And now the red ogres are fast, so they are going in, and so is Queek. But we're gonna go at their backs. And now these clan rats should come in here. I'm gonna add some storm vermin to the fight there. And only the last of the units is gonna run in, try and put some hurt on the archers over there. The clan rats. My bad. Okay, now I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and encircle them basically. So here you are, and Queek is going after. I'm gonna pull back the red ogres for a charge and bring in my halberds. I'm gonna let my warp fire throwers see if we can actually fire over our own units. The clan rats there, they've lost. What? The red ogres, I'm gonna try and sneak them in. Move through with them into the arches. That's basically the plan. So we need to not oops, yeah, there you go. Into the arches. Queek, where are you? And there you go. So now, where are my halberds? Oh, one of them is already routing. Awesome. Or fire thrower. They're being charged in the rear by shock cavalry, so they're obviously in shock. I'm gonna push through with most of my units and get into their rears. Red ogres attack the next bunch of pull through red ogres, make them run, and let's just add some more storm vermin, or not, clan rats. The prince, kill that lazy prince there. Our units actually get rest and recreation during a fight, because some of them are just like standing about and say, okay, let my buddies do the fighting for me and I'll be fine. Pull in, I mean push through, I mean. Now halberds, you have taken a break that has now been long enough. Let's fire into their backs over there. Okay, pull through, push through, fight basically, get into the melee. And U-turn here. Now they're also shattered, Illyrian Reavers. We have a lot more units than we need. That's basically the main observation. Warp fire thrower. How about doing another attempt over there? Now both their lords, captains. What are they? Spamming. In this case, we just need to rout them, claim the victory, and they're gonna disband because this is a settlement battle. So we've got them there. They're all dead now. Much of our army still survives. Loot and occupy or sack or erase. Now replenishment gives us stuff. If we occupy it, we have a conquest penalty of -30, a province instability thing. And oh, we can, depending on how much food we have, we can occupy settlements at different levels. Now, for now, I don't really like the rewards for compared to occupying. There's a very small benefit in terms of gold, but that's not really relevant to us now. Raising it doesn't bring as much benefit. If we occupy it, we're gonna face a lot of instability, which can trigger a rebellion, which can rank up our army. So I don't really see the problem here. I think we'll have to face mission issued province instability, and rebellions are probably going to be part of our plight. Should I call it that way? Slingers, Skaven slaves. I'm totally not interested in Skaven slaves. What does interest me though is another army, because if we are going to expect rebellions here, then we should find a nice lord to fight them off. However, it's going to increase our upkeep with 700 just putting another lord on the map. So what the heck, I'll keep Queek around basically. Now this unit is, I can maybe merge it with this one and merge it with this one and merge with this. Oops, oopsie. I'm gonna merge with you. I'm gonna wait for them to replenish. I'm just gonna recruit one more clan rep, but not over here. I'm going to move him. Oh, he can't even move really, so I shouldn't have gone through all the trouble. But anyway, let's do it this way. Pick up fresh clan rats, and the rest is gonna replenish. We can't move until the next turn, and then we're gonna go to Scraghole, which is just a hole. And I'm gonna keep the population surplus for this tier 3 so we can kick off with our technology. And I think it makes for a too slow campaign start, really. That's, I'm giving you an opinion. I would have liked it, let me put it that way, if I could simply start my research a little bit early. Because we already have just one character, which is Queek. No agents, nothing else. We have kind of one currency less to manage. We have warpstone and food, while the high elves also get influence. So I think it's kind of like I feel kind of ignored. I would have liked it if they had given us a little bit more to play with. I like the special units, but until I can unlock rights, I need 3. There's so much really that you need. We're gonna have this soon. But how much good is this really? Morse Clanstone. Army ability. Armor piercing damage plus 40%. I don't know. I don't know how you, I'm interested to know how you feel. If and put this perhaps in the perspective of lore as well. If you know the Skaven faction from the lore. Yes, I know. I'm not going to upgrade it. I'm going to end my turn. So yeah, and there's plenty more topics that I would like to discuss, like in how innovative the game actually is, the campaign balances, the battle army balances in battles and multiplayer, the completeness of the game, the need for mods or DLC, needs for patching, the modes like rushing, slow and steady, or turtling campaigns, RPG elements, and so on. So it's all those are all things that I'd like to touch on later. If you like, please stay tuned, subscribe, and follow the rest of this playthrough. Going to be plenty more to discuss and do in later episodes. This, however, concludes our episode for today. If you have questions for me that you'd like me to answer in the next edition, also drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Also, if you have questions for other viewers, mention them. And thanks for participating in that part of the game discussion. So, based on what you've seen now, and just as a an intermittent measurements, let's take the measurement of the game for now, and let me know, would you play Warhammer 2 if you aren't already, or not? And if so, if not, then what do you need to be convinced, basically? I'd like to hear from you. So thanks for participating. Also thanks for watching if indeed you have, and if you appreciate my efforts in making this video, do leave a like, share with your friends, plenty more coming up. So see you next time.